Holy blood-sucking undead fatballs, you got Last Voyage of the Demeter. Out this August 11th, 2023 from Universal Studios. Now, I first got wind of the movie when Andrea Sabasati, the Rue Morgue magazine's editor-in-chief, asked if I'd be interested in interviewing the Demeter's director, Andre Ovredal. Obviously, the only answer to a question like that is hell yes, I will. And you can actually see the results of that chat in the current July-August issue of the magazine. Afterwards, from chatting with Andre, I also got a chance to chat with screenwriter Bragi Schut and the man who plays Dracula, Javier Botet, about how they managed to pull off turning a 3-chapter section, specifically only 3 pages from the Captain's Logs portion of the novel Dracula, into a 2-hour feature film. Now, while there was plenty of fascinating takeaways from those chats, they all assured me that the great care was taken to ensure that this interpretation of Dracula was as historically accurate as possible. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I felt that of all the sections from the book to adapt, the Demeter's Voyage, taking Dracula from his Transylvanian castle, of course, over to continue his bloodthirsty reign in England, is probably the most pivotal, highly revered section of the entire novel. So it was super important that they get it right. From the costumes, to the construction of the ship, to the legacy of Dracula, every scene along the way was paramount and deserving of the same meticulous attention to detail that Bram Stoker approached his most iconic novel with over the 7-year period that he spent researching and writing it. Now, not even 15 minutes into the film, I can assure you guys that all their hard work totally paid off. I was easily transported back in time to when the Demeter ship last set sails from the shore of Whitby, England. And that ship, it's as close to the real thing as we could dare to get while somehow keeping dry. It definitely made a difference when they would do things such as the screenwriter Bragi Schut. He had actually went out and he purchased several blueprints for Russian schooners because as the crew are searching through the ship to try to find Dracula, every detail was so important to be able to make sure that we looked at this thing, and it really was as real as being there. Right down to the type of wood that they used to construct this thing. It's all there. Each of the 3 men that I chatted with, they told me that this is the scariest depiction of Dracula they had ever seen. Hell, Javier Botet even went as far as confessing to me that while he was on set of filming, when there was no camera, no crews visible to him, he looked out into the very real sea in Malta during a mock storm, the boats rocking back and forth. He's terrified at how isolated and vulnerable that he felt. I mean, Dracula being terrified while filming Dracula is a solid endorsement, to say the least. But it's their movie, so they're supposed to say that, right? I mean, what are they supposed to say? That they tried their best, but it's not going to keep anybody up at night, that's for sure. Suffice to say, guys, that I went into the screener with a very open mind. Was it scary as promised? Hell yes. And it had nothing to do with cheap jump scares or buckets of blood and guts for the sake of shock. It turns out that this film, it's so much more and embodies a gothic atmosphere which easily worms its way under the skin before we even realize how much danger the characters, and we along with them, are in. Just like Ovredal had explained to me, there's no Van Helsing here, no mercy, nobody is coming to save them. And throughout the film, we get to bear witness to a crew absolutely unhinged by an unknown fear. The tension rises the longer the bloodshed continues, and as men go missing while others go insane, a weathered Captain Seaward tries to keep their heads about them and deliver the ship to port with its mysterious cargo. And we learn along the way how truly alone each and every one of them feel. Each night as the sun sets and a storm rages, there's this sinister harvester of death that they can't catch, let alone find glimpse of, that rashes off the crew as if their lives were mere morsels on ship's menu, which of course is exactly what they've been diminished to. And ultimately, it's a race to see if the Demeter can reach its destination in Whitby before there's nobody left to tell the awful tale of what the hell happened. And even if you guys have read the novel and you think you know what to expect, just the same as I did, going into my screener, think again, because let me be the first one to tell you that you have no idea what's in store for you all. Yeah, obviously the film took some liberties by altering a few of the details from the original novel. It's like I always say, the book's the book, the movie's the movie, no matter how you cut it. But what they managed to do, which I think is probably the most important aspect in getting it right, is they managed to keep the heart, the atmosphere of the original Dracula novel very much alive while giving us a fresh take, which, not only throws fans of the source material off guard in a savagely rewarding way, it also gives us diehards the answers we've all been waiting for as far as unlocking the unspeakable terrors of the Captain's Log. Director Ovredal, absolutely swings for the fences when it comes to pushing his scenes to insane levels of intensity while somehow managing a genuinely atmospheric gothic vibe. Everything from the musical score to the eerie shadows to the brooding tension it's also in tune, and it works with such a perfect synchronicity that our senses are truly ravaged and they're left in tatters by the end of the credits. For example, I don't feel this is a spoiler because, surprise, Dracula's a bloodsucker. But when we see Dracula sucking the blood out of his victims, my God, the practical effects on top of the sound. I wore headphones while watching it, and the deep sucking gulps being the only sounds I heard, they easily put my nerves and stomach on edge. And I cannot wait to experience that in a theater with some high-end surround sound. It's going to be awesome. In short, Dracula, he's never looked more vicious, more frightening, more lethal. This is totally not your bedside variety romantic creature of the night in search of love across an ocean of time. Played to perfection, Botet was born to play the role of Dracula, and he truly brought out that primordial beast in an interpretation that we've yet to see until now. Now, the other cool thing too, guys, is that the early screener I saw it was about 2 minutes shy of being 3 hours long. I'm told that the theatrical release, well, you can look on IMDb if they have it right, that the release is going to weigh in at about 2 hours long. Apparently what I got to see was an early cut of the film, and I really hope that makes it on the DVD as a director's cut because, frankly, even after 3 hours of gripping the edge of my seat and once or twice yelling out at my screen loud enough that I woke my sleeping partner up, had the movie been longer, I would have happily gone the distance with it because, after all, why settle for safe harbor when you can have the time of your life sailing into the most terrifying fun that you can have while still keeping your head? So for everybody watching this, guys, go and do yourself a favor. If you're a fan of Dracula, of scary movies, of just exciting dark films in general, check this one out on one of the biggest, loudest screens that you can find and enjoy it for all it's worth. While you're at it, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to this video. It really does show not only your love for a favorite horror icon, but it helps the video to reach as many undead fans as possible. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. And in the meantime, keep a lookout at Roomwork site for my conversations with Andre Ovredal, Bragi Schut, Javier Botet, as they pop up online over there. And as always, stay hungry, stay dark, check out the movie. Thanks, guys.